BJP top strategist for Northeast drums up support for Tripura Chief Minister Manik Saha, says BJP will sweep all 4 seats. Assam flood situation remains unchanged. Close to 31 lakh people affected in 32 districts. Rescue and relief operations underway in full swing. 3 feared dead after flash floods hit Kalaktang in Arunachal Pradesh's West Kameng district. Rescue and search operations underway. 4 feared dead in tragic boat capsize in East Assam's Dibrugarh district. Rescue and search operations called off due to low visibility. Massive protests erupt in Imphal against IED blast in Thangmei Band. Call for safety and security gets louder. And forces term violence over Agnipath scheme as pre-planned, sends out strong message against rumour mongers. Registration for first batch of Agniveers to begin from June 24th. Very good evening to all our viewers. You're watching Evening Prime. I'm Ronak, and we start the bulletin with the top focus this evening. NEDA convener and BJP's top strategist Himanta Biswa Sharma took Tripura by storm through his blazing campaign trail today ahead of the crucial by-elections. Leading from the front, Sharma took part in a mega roadshow in town Bordwali constituency today, where he campaigned for the state Chief Minister Manik Saha. Speaking to media persons, Sharma exuded confidence that the BJP will have a clean sweep in the upcoming by-polls, which is considered to be a litmus test for the Saffron Party. Yes, indeed, viewers, the big development to start us off here as a NEDA convener and BJP's top strategist Himanta Biswa Sharma took Tripura by storm today during his blazing campaign trail ahead of the crucial by-elections. Leading from the front, Himanta Biswa Sharma took part in a mega roadshow in town Bordwali constituency, where he campaigned for incumbent Chief Minister Manik Saha. Speaking to media persons, Sharma exuded confidence that the BJP will have a clean sweep in the upcoming by-elections, considered to be a litmus test for the Saffron Party. Yes, indeed, viewers, these are the visuals of the mega roadshow that was held just a short while ago in the evening today, led by none other than the NEDA convener and BJP's top strategist, Himanta Biswa Sharma. Let me also tell our viewers here, Himanta Biswa Sharma was campaigning for the Tripura Chief Minister, Manik Saha. And as you can clearly see on your visuals, leading from the front, Himanta Biswa Sharma, and flanked on both sides by the former Chief Minister, Biplab Kumar Deb, and of course, the incumbent Chief Minister, Manik Saha. Yes, indeed, as Himanta Biswa Sharma was leading a large crowd of BJP supporters and party leaders in town Bordwali constituency today, campaigning for Chief Minister Manik Saha, who is all set to make his election debut in the forthcoming by-elections. All right, we have fresh reactions coming in from the NEDA convener Himanta Biswa Sharma. Let's listen in.
I think it is a clean sweep in all the 4 constituency. BJP will have sweep, complete sweep, and Dr. Manik Saha will win by a huge margin. What about the other seats? I mean, all the 4 seats we are going to win, but Manik Saha's victory margin will be jewel in the crown. By now we have consolidated our organization. So many people has come into BJP and development has taken place. So it is now absolutely BJP. My message to the public will be that we should continue the development of Tripura under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Dr. Manik Saha. We should take Tripura to a newer height. Dr. Manik Saha will be our chief minister. He is our chief minister, and we all want to strengthen Dr. Manik Saha.
So there you have it, viewers. Himanta Biswa Sharma, a confident man in the run-up to the by-elections in Tripura on the 23rd of June, saying that this is going to turn out to be another clean sweep for the BJP in the forthcoming by-elections. And of course, as you just heard the NADA convener say, the development agenda of Prime Minister Narendra Modi should continue in the state of Tripura. And of course, that can only be possible once the by-election results are out. And as Himanta Biswa Sharma just said, he is very, very confident of another clean sweep for the Saffron Party. And of course, before the roadshow, Sharma visited the iconic Durga temple, where he sought obeisance of the mother goddess. Sharma also addressed a rally at town Bordwali, and even as rain played spoiled sport early in the day today, it was not a deterrent for BJP's top strategist when it comes to addressing a mammoth gathering. And owing to the inclement weather conditions, two of Sharma's scheduled rallies at Jubaraj Nagar and Surma were cancelled. However, what came as a first of its kind alternative, Himanta Biswa Sharma was seen addressing the gathering at Jubaraj Nagar on a phone speaker. Yes, you heard me right, viewers. The people cheered on as the NADA convener's voice echoed on the loudspeaker, where he drummed up support for BJP candidate Malina Debnath. And also worth mentioning here, viewers, the visit of a NADA convener, Himanta Biswa Sharma, who had been instrumental in the BJP's successful campaign back in 2018, assumes great significance. Speaking to Northeast Live, former Tripura Chief Minister Biplab Kumar Dev said that Sharma powered the BJP to victory back in 2018, and his visit ahead of the by-polls will give a big boost to the party. Biplab Dev also exuded confidence that the BJP will sweep all 4 assembly seats in the upcoming by-elections.
त्रिपुरा 2018 में हेमंतदा के मार्गदर्शन में हम लोगों ने काम किया था। इलेक्शन प्रभारी हेमंतदा ही थे। हेमंतदा एक रणो कौशल है, प्रमाणित है। जहां हाथ दिया वहां जीत के सिवा और कुछ नहीं मिली है आज तक मैंने देखा। तो मैं आपके माध्यम से यही बताना चाहता हूं, हमारे 4 जो बाई इलेक्शन हो रहा है वो चारों सीट हम लोग जीतने वाले हैं। और हेमंतदा आके ये प्रमाणित कर दिया, वो आए हैं, इसका माने ये हम जीत निश्चित हो चुका है। कितने वोट से जीतेंगे वो अलग विषय है, वो जनता के ऊपर निर्भर करती है। और ये हमारे भारतीय जनता पार्टी और त्रिपुरा के लोगों के लिए जो एक पॉजिटिव सिंबल लेके हेमंतदा हर बार आता है, इस बार भी वही लेके आए हैं। और मेरा पूरा विश्वास है हम सब मिलके ये चारों इलेक्शन बहुत अच्छे तरह जनता का आशीर्वाद लेके माननीय मोदी जी के नेतृत्व काम करने का रास्ता तैयार किया, उसको और भी सुदृढ़ करेंगे।
And well, it was not just the elections that was a priority for Himanta Biswa Sharma during his visit to Tripura today. Expressing solidarity with those who have been affected by the floods in Tripura as well as in Assam, Himanta Biswa Sharma said that the BJP-led centre will leave no stone unturned to ensure proper relief and rehabilitation to those affected by the floods.
मैं सबको पहले प्रणाम देना चाहता हूँ। बहुत दिन का बाद मैं त्रिपुरा आया हूँ, ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं आया हूँ, लेकिन आप लोग को मिलने का मौका बहुत दिन का बाद हुआ है। लेकिन हर दम मैं त्रिपुरा में आते रहता हूँ और माँ त्रिपुरेश्वरी को प्रणाम करते रहता हूँ। मैं यहाँ से दोबारा एक बार माँ को प्रणाम करता हूँ। थोड़ा सा ऐसा है कि असम में भी बहुत ज्यादा बाढ़ है, 27 जिला में बाढ़ है और त्रिपुरा में भी अभी बाढ़ का प्रकोप है। अगरतला में कोई लोग रिलीफ कैंप में है। मैं सबका साथ, हमारा पार्टी का सहानुभूति व्यक्त करता हूँ और मेरा विश्वास है, असम हो या त्रिपुरा हो, हम सब लोग मिलके, हमारा त्रिपुरा सरकार हो, भारत सरकार हो, हम लोग सब लोग मिलके सबसे अच्छा, सबसे बढ़िया रिलीफ का व्यवस्था करूंगा, कर रहा हूं और आगे भी जाके किया जाएगा।
All right, on to the big flood update from Assam now. Well, it seems like there is no respite for the Northeast as far as the rains are concerned, as the Indian Meteorological Department has predicted heavy rainfall over northeastern states for the next 48 hours. That's right, viewers, the Met Department has warned of extremely heavy rainfall at isolated places in the Northeast for the next 48 hours. And if we talk about Assam, isolated heavy to very heavy rainfall is very likely over Dhubri, South Salmara, Gwalpara, Kokrajhar, Chirang, Baksa, Borpeta, and West Karbi Anglong, Lakhimpur, Dhemaji, Dima Hasao, Kachar, as well as in Karimganj district. Yes, indeed, viewers, a big update coming in from the Met Department regarding the flood situation in the Northeast. It seems like there is no respite in sight for the Northeast as far as the rains are concerned, as the heavy rainfall has been predicted over the Northeast for the next 48 hours. The IMD has warned of extremely heavy rainfall at isolated places in the Northeast in the next 48 hours. If we talk about Assam, isolated heavy to very heavy rainfall is likely over Dhubri, South Salmara, Gwalpara, Kokrajhar, Chirang, Baksa, Borpeta, West Karbi Anglong, Lakhimpur, Dhemaji, Dima Hasao, Kachar, and Karimganj. And meanwhile, the flood situation in the state continues to remain grim, with close to 31 lakh people affected in 32 of the total 35 districts of the state. At least 8 people have lost their lives in the floods and landslides in the last 36 hours alone, taking the cumulative death toll since April to 62. 2 deaths each were reported from Karimganj and Borpeta, and casualties also took place in Sonitpur, Hailakandi, Nolbari, and Tarang. In the wake of the flood situation, the additional Chief Secretary of Assam held a video conference with all deputy commissioners in the presence of Samir Sinha, the Principal Secretary to the Chief Minister. A total of 1.5 lakh people are currently lodged in as many as 514 relief camps set up across the state. Additionally, 302 relief distribution centers have also been set up in affected areas. And as many as 16 teams of the NDRF and SDRF, as well as fire and emergency services and ASDMA volunteers, are on the ground assisting the district administration in safe evacuation of the marooned people. Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma visited several flood-affected areas in Kamrup and Tarang districts and took stock of the situation there. Chief Minister Sharma directed the district administration to take up all necessary steps to address all genuine concerns. Meanwhile, with rail and road connectivity snapped, fears of a shortage of essentials is also rising in Assam's Barak Valley. However, the state government has assured that there is enough stock in every district to last for another at least 10 days. All right, on to the big story from Manipur. Locals took to the streets in the state's Imphal West in protest against the IED blast at Lorungpurel Lekai in Thangmeiban. Apprehensive about the situation in the days to come, the locals demanded that adequate security measures must be taken up to ensure their safety and security. It may be mentioned here that the explosion took place around 7:45 p.m. last evening in the Thangmeiban area. The blast occurred in front of the residence of one Hijam Ingo Singh at Thangmeiban Lorungpurel Lekai. No casualties or injuries have been reported from the incident. Meanwhile, our colleague Sharat Chandra was on ground zero to give us an account as to what had actually transpired. Yes, indeed. Before we take a look at that, let's have another look at the big story coming in from Manipur. Locals took to the streets in Imphal West today in protest against the IED blast at Lorongpure Lekai in Thangmeban. And apprehensive about the situation in the days to come, the locals demanded that adequate security measures must be put in place to ensure their security and safety. It may be mentioned that the explosion took place at around 7:45 p.m. in the evening, last evening at the Thangmeban area in Imphal. The blast occurred in front of the residence of one Hijam Ingo Singh at Thangmeban Lorong Purel Lekai. No casualties or injuries have been reported from the incident. However, our colleague Sharat Chandra was on ground zero today to give us an account of what had actually transpired. It may be mentioned here that this is the third bomb-related incident in Imphal so far in the month of June alone. Earlier, on the 5th of June, a blast occurred outside the Little Flower School in Imphal West. And after that, on the 10th of June, an ID was recovered outside the pharmacy in Lamphel near the RIMS Hospital in Imphal.
Yeah, this is a sit-in protest against the last night blast that took place at around 7:45. That blast went up at around 7:45 at this Thangmeban Lorong Purel Lekai. And you see, this is the local Mairapaibi members. This is a joint sit-in protest carried out by the Hijam Thangmeban Hijam Dewan Lekai, also Lorong Purel Lekai, and they are sitting against the blast that took place last night at around 7:40. Fortunately, that blast, yes, it damaged the house residential gate, and also some of the items being kept inside a shop. Fortunately, there was no report of human casualty. But yes, so far the blast at a residential area is always condemnable, and this is the sit-in protest carried out by the locals, Mairapaibi, or both Thangmeban Lorongpure Lekai, also Hijam Dewan Lekai. Sir, do you have any idea regarding this blast? Did you receive any kind of threat from any militant outfit earlier?
No. Any information not received by me.
Okay. So far as the threat is concerned, he didn't receive any kind of threat from any of the militant outfit operating in the state. It is not a good things taking place blast in the residential area. It is highly condemnable by every all. But what is the reaction after this blast?
No, I condemn the blast. Those persons.
Those persons. And what is your demand to the state authority?
No.
I think you must be wanting that the perpetrators behind this blast should be booked by the state authority, that is a home department at the earliest, I think.
To take to the necessary.
Yeah, this is the Hijam Ibungo Singh, who is about 74 years, that last night blast at the Thangmeban area took place at the residence gate of him, and according to him, he highly condemned last night blast. Also demand to the home department of the state that the perpetrators behind the blast should be booked at the earliest. With video journalist Roshan, this is Sharat Chandra reporting for Notice Live from Imphal.
All right, on to another big story now. 4 persons are feared dead after a boat capsized on the Brahmaputra River today at Romoria in eastern Assam's Dibrugarh district. As per inputs provided by our colleague Ripunjoy Das from Ground Zero, the boat capsized with 9 persons on board. However, 5 of the 9 persons were rescued. Meanwhile, those missing individuals have been identified as Shankar Yadav, Sanku Kurmi, Dhamen Das, and Kishan Yadav. Search and rescue operations have been called off due to low visibility and will resume again tomorrow at 5 a.m. Yes, indeed, viewers, another big story coming in from Assam. 4 persons are feared dead after a boat capsized on the Brahmaputra River today at Romoria in eastern Assam's Dibrugarh district. As per inputs provided by our colleague Ripunjoy Das from Ground Zero, the boat capsized with 9 persons on board. However, 5 of the 9 persons were rescued, and those missing have been identified as Shankar Yadav, Sanku Kurmi, Dhamen Das, and Kishan Yadav. Meanwhile, search and rescue operations have been called off due to low visibility and will resume again tomorrow at 5 a.m.
The search operation launched by the administration with assistance from the NDRF and SDRF and the state police here in Rohmoria in Eastern Assam's Dibrugarh district for the 4 missing persons who went missing right here in the Brahmaputra during the daytime today during a tragic boat mishap has concluded. It has come to an end for the day 1, and it will resume early morning tomorrow at around 5 in the morning. The administration is packing up their resources. In fact, a 25-member NDRF team under the leadership of a inspector rank officer had come in with 4 rubberized boats to conduct this search operation, and the search operation till now was conducted very in an intense manner. We have Mr. Rakesh Kumar, the inspector who has led today's operation. Mr. Kumar, what do you like to say? How was the operation today?
सर ऑपरेशन अच्छा रहा और हमें मैं शुरू से बताना चाहूँगा जो अबाउट हम 12:30 बजे के करीब हमें सीओ सर्कल ऑफिसर जो हैं चाबुआ उनके तरफ से हमें एक कॉल आया कि ऐसा ऐसा घटना घट चुका है और टोटल 9 आदमी थे जिसमें से 5 पर्सनल्स जो हैं वो बच गए हैं और 4 जो है मिसिंग हैं। तो हमारी टीम यहाँ पहुँची और करीब 1:45 बजे के करीब हमने ऑपरेशन को लॉन्च किया विथ 2 IRB और 4:30 बजे तक हमने ऑपरेशन को कंटिन्यू किया। इसमें हमने एरिया जो जहाँ पर पर्टिकुलर इंसिडेंट हुआ था उस जगह पर भी हमने सर्च किया और डाउन स्ट्रीम की तरफ अप्रॉक्स 4 किलोमीटर हमने वहाँ तक सर्च किया। तो ऑपरेशन तो अच्छा रहा, लेकिन जो मिसिंग पर्सनल्स थे वो अभी तक नहीं मिल पाए। हमारे रेस्क्यूअर ने काफ़ी मेहनत की और कल सुबह हमने दोबारा 5 बजे से हम ऑपरेशन को कंटिन्यू करेंगे और चांसेस हैं बॉडी मिसिंग पर्सनल जरूर मिलेंगे।
And meanwhile, in a heroic act, a man saved the lives of 5 passengers after he took it upon himself to bring them to safety. Northeast Live correspondent Ripunjoy Das got in touch exclusively with Ranjit Dung, who risked his life to save others. Let's listen in.
Today at the boat mishap site at Rohmoria in Dibrugarh district, Team Northeast Live have been able to search a person, Mr. Ranjit Dang, who had been at the forefront and even who risked his life to save as many as 5 persons just after the mishap had taken place. How did he do it? Let us hear from himself. This is a Northeast Live exclusive for our viewers. So, কি হৈছিলে তেতিয়া আপুনি ইয়াতে নদীৰ কিনাৰত আছিলে, দুৰ্ঘটনা হৈছিলে, কি দেখা পালে, কি কৰিলে আপুনি?
মানে ইহঁতে চিঙৰি চিঙৰি গৈ আছিলে
উম।
কান্দি কান্দি চিঙৰি
উম।
মানে চিঙৰি গৈ আহি বালি মাছত লাগিলে কিন্তু চাগে
উম।
মানে চিঙৰি কান্দি আছিলে। তাৰপিছত আমি মানে মই সহ্য কৰিব নহ'ল,
উম।
বুট এটা আছিলে, বুটটো লৈ কিনি মানে ইমান লগত সোমাই আছিলে সিহঁতে।
উম।
চোলা চোলা নাই, কাপোৰ চাপোৰ একো নাই,
উম।
অৱস্থা বেয়া আছিলে আৰু এটা এটা কৰি উঠালো, বুটত উঠাই মেলি লৈ আহিলো।
তেতিয়া কিমান সময় হৈছিলে আপুনি?
10:30 11 মাজত।
আপুনি কি কৰি আছিলে তেতিয়া?
মই দোকানত আছিলো।
আচ্ছা, আপোনাৰ ইয়াত দোকান আছে?
দোকান এটা আছে।
সো আপোনাক কেনেকে গ'ল? আপুনি নাওখন ক'ৰ পৰা পালে?
নাওটো ওচৰতে জিৰ'বেগ কাম কৰা নাও এটা আছিলে, সেই নাওটো লৈ কিনি গ'লোগে।
আচ্ছা, আপোনাৰ কোনো মানে নিজৰ জীৱনৰ প্ৰতি ভয় নালাগিলে যে আপুনি ইমান নদীত পানী আছে, আপুনি লোকৰ জীৱন বচাবলৈ যাব, যে আপোনাৰ নিজৰ জীৱনটোৰ কথা নাভাবিলে?
নাভাবিলো মানে লোকৰ জীৱন মানে বচাটো অলপ কিবাটো সেইকাৰণে নাভাবিলো নিজে বচাব লাগে বুলি ক'লো।
So this is the person, Mr. Ranjit Dang, who risked his life to save the life of 5 individuals. And these are the persons who remain behind the screen amidst the all these activities of administrators, search operations. Their stories somewhere go missing. But we in Northeast Live would like to ensure that his contribution, his first-hand contribution, his intuition to go inside this Brahmaputra, who is in spate, in fact, and rescue those person. He responded to the distress call of those crying persons who were inside the Brahmaputra. And this is what we would like to appeal to the government also, to recognize his contribution in this entire search operation. And we also do hope that this little story from Northeast Live will reach the upper people in the administration, and some recognition will definitely come in the days to follow. With camera person Praneep, this is Ripunjay Das reporting from Rohmoria for Northeast Live.
Meanwhile, we have reactions coming in from one of the individuals who was on board the ill-fated boat. Let's listen in.
उधर से हम लोग आ रहे थे, बीच में धो था, उसमें घुस गए। उसके बाद पानी पूरा डूब गया। हम लोग 5 बचे और 4 चले गए। हम लोग उधर का दूध का रोज का कारोबार, दूध आता है रोज, और आज संडे था तो सब्जी भी आया था। नाव नहीं टूटा, डायरेक्ट पानी घुस गया। जब पानी घुसा तब वो नीचे चला गया। लाइट जैकेट 2 था, लाइट जैकेट 2 होने की वजह से हम लोग तो लाइट जैकेट लेके सब तो ऐसे ही चले गए जिधर तिधर। उसके बाद 2 लाइट जैकेट थे, 2 लाइट जैकेट में लेके उसको पानी में कूदा। उसको कूदा तो सब इधर उधर थे। उसके बाद वो सबको मैंने बुलाया जिधर तिधर से, चिल्ला के कि तब सबको सामने आया तो लाइट जैकेट हरा। तब उसके बाद हम लोग उधर से पूरा पानी में तैरते तो बहुत नीचे तक चला गए। उसके बाद वहां में धड़े हम लोग।
All right, and to bring us all the latest updates from Ground Zero, I am being joined now live by my colleague Ripunjoy Das. Ripunjoy, indeed, it seems as though the search operations have been called off for the day owing to low visibility. However, we have been informed that the search and rescue operations will continue tomorrow at 5 a.m. sharp. What further details could you gather from the officials on site? Ripunjoy, over to you.
Yes, Ronak, as we have stated earlier also that the search operation concluded at around 5 p.m. today. However, it will resume early morning tomorrow at around 5 or whenever the visibility is clear. That is what the SP Dibrugarh, Mr. Shwetang Mishra told us. And Ronak, the NDRF team, which is being led by inspector rank officer, 25-member NDR team, they will be approaching from a different side, much to the lower downstream at a place called Nagaghuli. From there, they will be approaching because they have an opinion that the 4-person, they are presuming that all of them might have died till now. Their bodies might be recovered much downstream where the mishap took place. So they will be coming with more man and machinery tomorrow. Today they have utilized inflated rubberized boat. 2 were pressed into service and 2 were on standby. And tomorrow they will be coming with more men and machines to fish out the dead bodies while launching a extensive search. Ronak, the SDRF team is also helping them apart from the police, and the important role being played by the local villagers, Ronak, that has to be mentioned because they are guiding the entire search operators during the entire course of the search operation.
Absolutely.
Which we noticed,
absolutely. Ripunjoy Das, thank
today.
you very much for joining us this evening and bringing us all of those latest updates. It's time for a short break now. More news and updates to follow on the other side. Stay tuned. Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
Build your dream at the Assam Royal Global University. Success is not an overnight phenomenon. You need to work hard and go through the grind every day to achieve what you want. Engineer, fashion designer, or someone working in the field of medical science, or the CEO of your own company, you can dream anything and make that happen here at the Assam Royal Global University.
মই ব্যৱহাৰ কৰোঁ আটাইতকৈ সবল আৰু সতেজ চিমেণ্ট সূৰ্য চিমেণ্ট। সূৰ্য চিমেণ্ট অটুট ঘৰ অটুট অসম।
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
A university is much more than just a place to get your education. It not only helps you build your career, but also your personality and mindset. At Assam Royal Global University, you will get the most suitable environment to gain knowledge and also grow as a person. The university has the best infrastructure with all the required facilities and best quality equipment for any kind of educational need.
মই ব্যৱহাৰ কৰোঁ আটাইতকৈ সবল আৰু সতেজ চিমেণ্ট সূৰ্য চিমেণ্ট। সূৰ্য চিমেণ্ট অটুট ঘৰ অটুট অসম।
সুগন্ধ ৰং আৰু সোৱাদ খাটি এভৰিডে জিভাত দিয়ে আচল জুতি। এভৰিডে স্পাইচেছ 100% টেষ্ট। এভৰিডে স্পাইচেছ বেষ্ট।
Welcome back, viewers, and on to another big story now. After registering a landslide victory in the recently concluded Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council polls, the newly elected members of the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council will be sworn in tomorrow, along with CEM Tuliram Rongan. The oath of office will be administered by Governor Jagdish Mukhi in the presence of Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma and a host of dignitaries. It may be mentioned here that the BJP won all 26 seats in the Karbi Anglong Council, thereby retaining power in the Hill District for the second consecutive term. Yes, indeed, viewers, another big development coming in at this point in time. After registering a landslide victory in the recently concluded Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council polls, the newly elected members of the Karbi Anglong Council will be sworn in tomorrow, along with CEM Tuliram Rongan. The oath of office will be administered by Governor Jagdish Mukhi in the presence of Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma and a host of dignitaries. It may be mentioned here that the BJP won all 26 seats in the KAAC, thereby retaining power in the Hill District for the second consecutive term.
অহাকালিলৈ 12 বজাত ভোট টেকিং সেৰেমনি ৰখা হৈছে। অনাৰেবল গভৰ্ণৰ ছাৰ আহিব আৰু অনাৰেবল CM ছাৰ আহিব। অনাৰেবল গভৰ্ণৰ ছাৰ চিফ গেষ্ট আৰু CM ছাৰ গেষ্ট অফ অনাৰ হ'ব। আৰু গভৰ্ণৰ ছাৰ বিহাফত ডেপুটি কমিশনাৰে ভোটটো এডমিনিষ্ট্ৰেট কৰিব। মিনিষ্টাৰসকলকো ইনভিটেশ্যন কৰা হৈছে। তাৰ উপৰিও অন্যান্য বিষয়ববীয়াসকলকো নিমন্ত্ৰণ কৰা হৈছে।
A newly inducted minister in the Assam cabinet, Nandita Gorlosa, today was accorded a warm welcome in her home district of Dima Hasao. The Dima Hasao BJP unit organized a welcome ceremony for Minister Nandita Gorlosa at the Bajpai Bhavan in Haflong. Upon her arrival at the Bajpai Bhavan, hundreds of party workers, leaders, and executive members of the NC Hills Autonomous Council were present to accord a grand reception to Nandita Gorlosa. Take a look.
कभी-कभी सोचता है क्योंकि वो जीतने के साथ-साथ रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी बहुत है उसका। काउंसिल का
And thereafter, the newly inducted minister visited the leader of Indigenous Faith and Culture Protection Forum, Ramkui Jeme, at his residence. Nandita Gorlosa took his blessings and interacted with him as well. And this was followed by a meeting with the Dima Hasao Deputy Commissioner at the DC's conference hall. Minister Nandita Gorlosa was also felicitated by Deputy Commissioner Nazreen Ahmed.
ये आज हमारा विजिट हाफलोंग में ऑफिशियली ऐसे नहीं है, लेकिन इस फ्लड का दौरान हमारा डिस्ट्रिक्ट भी थोड़ा अफेक्टेड हुआ है, इसलिए वो देखने के लिए आया है। कल दिउंगबड़ा 4 रिलीफ कैंप्स में गया है। आज हमारा पहला विजिट था बोल के पार्टी ऑफिस में सब कार्यकर्ताओं को मिलने के लिए गया है और देखता है कि ये विजिट तो सिर्फ एक दिन का ही है, आज दिन का ही है, कल फिर जाना है और देखता है कि डिमा हासाओ का ये बारिश भी कब रुकेगा और किसी और क्या प्रॉब्लम ज़्यादा मत हो वही आशा करता है। और जितना भी प्रॉब्लम्स है असम गवर्नमेंट एज वेल एज काउंसिल टीम का तरफ से बहुत ही कोशिश में रहेगा कि किसी को भी तकलीफ ना मिले, और कोशिश यही रहेगा कि जो भी अनटूवर्ड इंसिडेंट्स मत हो, बहुत ही हो गया है, और वही बोल के ये मेरा बात खत्म करेगा। ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर हम नहीं पूछने से भी वो बहुत ही ऐसा फॉल ऑफ असम को बहुत देखता है, वे हमारा पूछने का बात ज़रूरत ही नहीं है। ही इज़ ऑलवेज इन्फॉर्म्ड एंड देन ही वो हमेशा सब डिस्ट्रिक्ट को एक साथ नज़रिया से देखता है।
एक्सपेक्ट भी नहीं किया रहा हम लोग का डिमा हसव से हम लोग एक महिला एमएलए मिलेगा, वो भी मतलब एमएलए बन गया। उसका बाद फिर अभी कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर बना, बहुत बहुत खुशी है। एक मतलब महिला का कोटा से जो मिला बहुत अच्छा लगा, और आशा करता है कि वो हम लोग का डिमा हसव के लिए और भी डेवलपमेंट के लिए वो हाई लेवल तक फाइट करेगा। वो बहुत आशा है उसके लिए। वो सबके साथ में भी मिलजुल है और वो वेल एजुकेटेड है, इसलिए वो सबका मतलब दुख भी वो समझता है।
All right, back to the top story from Manipur now. Locals took to the streets in Manipur's Imphal West today in protest against the IED blast at Lorongpurel Lekai in Thangmeban last evening. Apprehensive about the situation in the days to come, the locals demanded that adequate security measures must be taken up to ensure their safety. All right, to give us more details regarding this, I'm being joined now live from Imphal by my colleague Sharat Chandra. Sharat, this was indeed a protest that can we say, a long time coming, because this is the third IED-related incident in the month of June alone, with people crying out for more security and safety to be ensured for them in the days to come. What more can you tell us regarding this, Sharat?
Well, Ronak, you see today afternoon, sit-in protests already demonstrated by the women's party of the Thangmeibal Lorung Purel area, where the blast went off last evening at around 7:40. And yes, women protesters highly condemned the blast in the residential area, and also they also appeal to the state government, very particularly to the Home Department, that the strict measure. This strict security measure need to be beef up, because state government always claim that the law and order situation in Manipur is already it is improved up to the very large extent. But yes, so far as the blast is concerned, there is no sign of stop of the this planting of bomb, triggering of this bomb is concerned. So that is the only reason people do feel that the present security measure is not enough, because it cannot stop the bomb blast and the bomb planting of bomb. So government need to take up very strict security measures so that such kind of unwanted situation like bomb blast can be stopped in the days to come, Ronak.
Absolutely. Sharat Chandra, thank you very much for joining us this evening and bringing us all of those latest updates from Imphal. And on to the big national focus now. Amidst the ongoing outrage over the Agnipath scheme, the Ministry of Defence today held a crucial briefing in the national capital. The Tri-Services briefing was chaired by Additional Secretary in the Department of Military Affairs, Lieutenant General Anil Puri. Among others who addressed this joint press conference were Indian Army's Adjutant General Lieutenant General Bansi Ponappa, Indian Navy's Chief of Personnel Vice Admiral Dinesh Tripathi, and Indian Air Force's Personnel in Charge Air Marshal S.K. Jha. Addressing the crucial gathering, Lieutenant General Anil Puri said that Indian Army has no place for arson and vandalism, and so every individual will have to provide a certificate that they were not a part of the protest or vandalism. During the briefing, among the various key announcements made by the senior officials, the Indian Air Force has released fresh details of the recruitment plan. As per the new notification, registration process for the first batch of Agniveers will start from June 24th, and from July 24th, phase 1 of the online examination process will begin. Furthermore, the first batch of 25,000 Agniveers will be inducted by December this year, and the second batch by February 2023, making it 40,000. Meanwhile, officials from the Navy made a significant announcement during the briefing. During the joint briefing today, the Navy said that women will also be recruited under the Agnipath scheme and will be deployed on warships. Earlier today, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh held a meeting with the 3 service chiefs of the Army, Navy, and the Air Force. The meeting held at Rajnath Singh's residence amidst a nationwide protest was centered around the Agnipath scheme, which has come under heavy controversy.
भारतीय सेना की फाउंडेशन है डिसिप्लिन, नो स्पेस फॉर नो आर्सन. एंगर आप खुशी से दिखाइए, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, वार्तालाप करिए, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, बट आर्सन, वैंडलिज्म, नो स्पेस. वी आर टिंकरिंग विद देश की रक्षा. देयर इज नो स्पेस. एक ही सिर्फ है देश की रक्षा करने के लिए, और देश की रक्षा करने के लिए मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूं. पता है कितनी कैजुअलिटीज आती हैं जस्ट फॉर हेल्थ पर्पसेस फ्रॉम हाई एल्टीट्यूड एरियाज? आप पढ़िएगा, ओके, तो तब आपको पता चलेगा यंग क्यों जरूरी है, ओके, एंड क्या जरूरत है उसकी. तो ये रोल बैक करने की तो मेरे तरफ से तो आपको कोशिश करनी चाहिए कि बिल्कुल रोल बैक नहीं.
इंडियन एयरफोर्स भारतीय वायुसेना में अग्निवीर बैच 1 of 22 के रजिस्ट्रेशन की प्रक्रिया 24 जून से शुरू हो जाएगी. ये एक ऑनलाइन सिस्टम है जो हमारा वेल स्टैब्लिश्ड स्टार एग्जामिनेशन सिस्टम है. उसी के तहत ये नोटिफिकेशन और रजिस्ट्रेशन चालू होगी. इसके ठीक 1 महीने बाद 24 जुलाई से जो फेज 1 ऑनलाइन एग्जामिनेशन है उसकी प्रक्रिया शुरू हो जाएगी, और दिसंबर के अंत तक हम पहले बैच अग्निवीर को एनरोल कर लेंगे, और 30 दिसंबर से पहले बैच की ट्रेनिंग शुरू हो जाएगी.
एयरफोर्स की तरह हमारा रिक्रूटमेंट भी ऑनलाइन होता है, और वो भी 1 महीने के अंदर जो हमारे स्टेप्स हैं रिक्रूटमेंट के वो सब शुरू हो जाएंगे. और मुझे हमारी जो टाइम लाइन्स हैं उसके हिसाब से 21 नवंबर जो हमने डेट चुनी है, 21 नवंबर को हमारा फर्स्ट अग्निवीर हमारी जो बेसिक ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूशन है INS चिल्का उड़ीसा में, वहां पर रिपोर्ट करना शुरू कर देगा. और जैसा कि आपको पता है, हमारे नौसेना अध्यक्ष ने पहले भी बताया था कि हम लोग अग्निवीर जो हमारे आएंगे नेवी में वो जेंडर न्यूट्रल रहेंगे.
आर्मी का जो ये अग्निवीर का जो रिक्रूटमेंट प्रोसेस है, ये हम ऑलरेडी वेबसाइट पे लगा चुके हैं, टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस एंड एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया. कल हम इसका जो ड्राफ्ट नोटिफिकेशन भी लगा देंगे. ये 2 बैचेस में हमारा इंडक्शन होंगे इनटू द ट्रेनिंग सेंटर्स. पहला जो लॉट है, जो ज्यादातर तकरीबन 25,000 का आसपास है, वो आएंगे बाय December 1st week or December 2nd week. The next lot will come in the first half of February 23.
Meanwhile, amidst the ongoing row over the Agnipath scheme, Union Minister of State for Defence Ajay Bhatt has appealed to the youth to make good use of this golden opportunity. First, understand the scheme and then take a decision, he said. The Minister of State Bhatt further urged upon the opposition to only make responsible remarks and not to provoke.
ये स्वर्णिम भविष्य बनाने का एक मौका हमारे जवानों को मिल रहा है, हमारे युवकों को मिल रहा है. हम प्रार्थना करते हैं कि अच्छी तरह से समझ लें, योजना के बारे में जानकारी लें, उसके बाद फिर आप अपना निर्णय करें. आपको अगर अच्छा लगता है तो आप निर्णय लें. अगर कहीं पर आपको त्रुटि लगती है तो आप बताएं ये कौन सा तरीका है कि बसें जला रहे हैं, ट्रेन जल रही हैं, नेशनल प्रॉपर्टी को लॉस हो रहा है. ऐसे में तो कई जगह दिक्कत आएगी, और विपक्ष को बहुत जिम्मेदारी के साथ सारी बातें बोलनी चाहिए. गैर जिम्मेदाराना बयान और भड़काऊ बयान जो आ रहे हैं, ये अच्छी बात नहीं है. नेशनल प्रॉपर्टी हम सबकी है, उसके लिए हम लोग भी टैक्स देते हैं, आप लोग भी टैक्स देते हैं। इसलिए ये जिस तरह से हमारी सार्वजनिक संपत्ति को नुकसान हो रहा है, ये बहुत गलत बात है और हम सबको इस पर विचार करना चाहिए कि क्या ये ठीक हो रहा है। एक अच्छी स्कीम आ रही है, सारे विभाग लेने को तैयार हैं, सारे जो कहीं कहीं पर गलतफहमियां थी वो गलतफहमियां भी दूर हो गई हैं। तो इसके बाद भी अपनी बात पर अड़े रहना ये अच्छी बात नहीं है। मैं तो युवा शक्ति से अपील करूंगा कि सुनहरा अवसर जो आया है इसे अपने हाथ से जाने न दें और भविष्य उज्जवल है, आगे के लिए कहीं कोई दिक्कत होने वाली नहीं है।
कि हम
And members of the opposition Congress today held a satyagraha protest amidst heavy police security against the centre's Agnipath scheme for recruitment into the Indian Armed Forces. The Grand Old Party held a protest at the Jantar Mantar in solidarity with the youth protesting against the centre's Agnipath recruitment scheme. All MPs, CWC members, and AICC office bearers participated in the stir. Worth mentioning here, protests have broken out in various parts of the country against the new recruitment scheme in the armed forces. Earlier on Saturday, one person died in Telangana's Secunderabad as protests against the newly announced military recruitment policy, Agnipath, turned violent. Protesters torched compartments of a train in Bihar Samastipur and those in another train at Lakhisarai station. Not just this, as many as 340 train services were affected due to the youth's agitation against the recently launched Agnipath recruitment scheme.
I think it's very sad that people are indulging in violence. We have all appealed for peace to remain. People should not break the law. And violence is no answer to any question. But it's also true that young people are agitated. They have a right to protest. They must protest. Young people are very, very afraid about their future. And the way the government has imposed this policy, I think doesn't argue well for neither the young people nor the armed forces. And now these knee-jerk reactions of keep changing the policy every day is a reaction to what the protests are forcing the government to do. In my view, government didn't think this through. It is like the 3 farm laws. They first imposed it after 1 year of agitation, and they kept saying it's for the benefit of the farmers. Then why were the farmers protesting? If this policy is for the benefit of young people, why young people protesting? See, you can't keep blaming the opposition for everything. We have appealed for peace, but young people are genuinely concerned. They must listen to their voice and roll back this policy. See, this policy was announced by the government 3 days ago without consultation. It is not Congress or other opposition parties. It is the impact of this policy announcement. First, they made the 3 farm laws. Entire country was in turmoil. Now they imposed this Agnipath scheme. The country is in turmoil. So the government is acting irresponsibly, and they legislate first, think later. And that's why all these things are happening. They must reconsider and stop being so stubborn. And what young people are so agitated, listen to their voices. Heavens will not fall if they roll back this policy and restart again.
Shifting focus to some other news now, Olympic medalist and ace pugilist Lovlina Borgohain has made a fervent appeal to everyone and not to speculate and make an issue out of her alleged divorce petition. In an emotional video put up on social media, the ace boxer and Olympic champion clarified that she was not married and hence it would be wrong to state that she has filed for divorce. Opening up on her relationship with Navneet Goswami, Borgohain said that while it is true that she and Navneet were in a relationship back in 2018, things that ended at least 4 months prior to the Tokyo Olympics. Lovlina admitted that she and Navneet had signed an agreement of sorts so that neither of them felt insecure in the relationship. However, they never stayed as husband and wife. Lovlina said that they had both decided to end the relationship mutually in order to focus on their respective careers and appealed to the media and people not to drag the matter any further. Now, let's listen in to this emotional and fervent appeal by the ace boxer.
নমস্কাৰ এই ভিডিঅ'টো বনোৱাৰ এটাই লক্ষ্য হ'ল যে মোৰ বিষয়ে যিখিনি কথা ফেচবুকত ছ'চিয়েল মিডিয়াত আৰু আমাৰ নিউজ চেনেলখিনিয়ে কৈ আছে তাৰ বিষয়ে অকণমান সকলোকে যাতে মই ভালদৰে খোলাকৈ ক'ব বিচাৰিছোঁ আচলতে কথাটো কি আৰু তাক কিদৰে উলিওৱা হৈছে নিশ্চয় মই এটা ৰিলেশ্যনশ্বিপত আছিলোঁ আৰু এতিয়াৰ কথা নহয়, 2018 চনৰ কথা। তাৰ লগত আমি দুয়োটাই প্ৰায় ফোনতে লগ পাইছিলোঁ আৰু ফোনতে কথা বতৰা হৈছিলে। 15 পৰা 20 দিনমান আমি কথা পাতিছিলোঁ আৰু তেতিয়া কমনৱেলথ গেমছৰ সময়ত। আৰু তেতিয়া যিহেতু মই বাহিৰত থাকোঁ আৰু একেবাৰে ঘৰলৈ অহা নহয়, তাৰ বাবে আৰু বহুতো মানুহৰ লগত লগ পাওঁ, তাৰ বাবে ক'ৰবাত নহয় ক'ৰবাত সি ইনচিকিউৰিটি ফিল কৰিছিলে। আৰু ময়ো ভাবিছিলোঁ যে যাতে একো প্ৰব্লেম নহওক আগলৈ, এইবুলি ভাবিয়ে আমি দুয়োটাই ডিচিশ্যন লৈছিলোঁ যে আমি এখন এগ্ৰিমেণ্ট কৰি থওঁ, যিহেতু কোৰ্ট মেৰেজ বুলিয়ে ক'ব পাৰি, কিন্তু কোৰ্ট মেৰেজ নিচিনাকৈ একো হোৱা নাছিলে। আমি কোনো মিনিষ্ট্ৰেটৰ ওচৰত যোৱা নাছিলোঁ, মাত্ৰ এখন কাগজত চাইন কৰিছিলোঁ। মাত্ৰ এইটো কাৰণেই কৰা হৈছিলে যাতে দুয়োটাই যেতিয়া একেলগে নাথাকোঁ, দুয়োটাই বাহিৰতে থাকোঁ, এটা ছিকিউৰিটিৰ কাৰণে এইটো কৰা হৈছিলে। কিন্তু আমি দুয়োটাই এইটো ডিচিশ্যন লৈছিলোঁ যে যেতিয়ালৈকে আমাৰ দুয়োটাই ফেমিলিয়ে ভালদৰে আমাক বিয়া নিদিয়ে, তেতিয়ালৈকে আমি হাজবেণ্ড ৱাইফৰ নিচিনাকৈ নাথাকোঁ। আৰু এনেদৰে মই একেবাৰে বাহিৰতে থকা হৈছিল। মই গেমৰ কাৰণে প্ৰায় দিল্লীত থকা হৈছিলে। প্ৰায় 3 বছৰ, 4 বছৰ সময়, বহুত কম সময়হে মই ঘৰলৈ গৈছিলোঁ। 2 দিন বা 3 দিনৰ ছুটি পাইছিলোঁ, য'ত মই ঘৰত গৈছিলোঁ আৰু সি যদি তাক লগ কৰিব লগা আছিলে, তেনেহ'লে মোৰ ঘৰতে আহি সি মোক লগ কৰি গৈছিলে। কিন্তু আমাৰ দুটাৰ মাজত হাজবেণ্ড ৱাইফৰ নিচিনা একো ৰিলেশ্যন নাছিলে। আমি দুটা সাধাৰণ ভাল পোৱা ল'ৰা ছোৱালীৰ নিচিনাকৈ আছিলোঁ, ফোনতেই বেছি কথা পতা হৈছিলে। আৰু ফেমিলিক এইটো কাৰণে জনোৱা হোৱা নাছিলে, যিহেতু মোৰ গেমৰ কাৰণে আৰু ক'ৰবাত নহয় ক'ৰবাত তাৰ বায়েকৰো বিয়া হোৱা নাছিলে। তাৰ বাবে যাতে ফেমিলিৰ মানুহে ভয় নাখায়, তাৰ বাবে এইটো কথা কোৱা নাছিলে। কিন্তু মোৰ ফেমিলিত, মোৰ ঘৰত তাৰ কথা সকলোৱে জানিছিলে আৰু তাক বহুতেই বেছি ভাল পাইছিলে। কিন্তু লাহে লাহে এই 3 বছৰত আমাৰ দুটাৰ মাজত, যিহেতু আমি বহুত কম সময়ৰ ভিতৰতে সেইটো ডিচিশ্যন ল'লোঁ, কিন্তু এই মাজ সময়খিনিত আমি দুয়োটাই চাগে নিজৰ যোনটো প্ৰফেশ্যন হয় তাত লাগি থাকোঁতে আমি দুয়োটাই ইটোৱে সিটোক টাইম দিব পৰা নাছিলোঁ আৰু আমাৰ দুয়োটাৰে কথা মিল হোৱা নাছিলে আৰু দুয়োটাৰ ভবা চিন্তা কৰাৰ বেলেগ বেলেগ আছিলে। আমি দুয়োটাই মিলা নাছিলোঁ আৰু তাৰ বাবে যিহেতু ময়ো বহুত বেছি ষ্ট্ৰেছত আছিলোঁ অলিম্পিকৰ আগত যিখিনি হৈ গৈছে মোৰ লগত, যিহেতু মোৰ মাৰ কিডনী অপাৰেশ্যনৰ সময়ত মোৰ ইনজুৰি হয়, ক'ভিডৰ টাইমত মই বহুত বেছি ষ্ট্ৰেছত আছিলোঁ। অলিম্পিক হ'ব নহ'ব সেইটো কথাও ভবা হৈছিলে। তেতিয়া বহুত বেছি আমাৰ দুটাৰ মাজত আৰু বেছি কাজিয়া হ'বৰ কাৰণে আৰম্ভ হৈছিলে। তাৰ বাবে আমি দুটাই এইটো ডিচিশ্যন লৈছিলোঁ যে অলিম্পিকলৈকে, যিহেতু অলিম্পিকৰ 3 মাহৰ আগৰ পৰা আমি একেবাৰে কথা বতৰা পতা বন্ধ কৰিছিলোঁ। কেতিয়াবা হাই হেল্ল' কৰা হৈছিলে, কিন্তু তাতকৈ বেছি একো হোৱা নাছিলে। সিও মই মাত্ৰ কৈছিলোঁ যে মোক অলপ স্পেচ লাগে, যিহেতু মই ফুল ফ'কাছ অলিম্পিকতে কৰিব বিচাৰোঁ। বহুত বেছি ষ্ট্ৰেছ হয় মই এইবোৰ বস্তুত আৰু মই নিজৰ মাথা লগাব নিবিচাৰোঁ। আৰু সিও সেইটো বস্তুত মান্তি হৈছিলে। সিও যিহেতু মোক অলিম্পিকৰ আগলৈকে একেবাৰে সি কণ্টেক্ট কৰা নাছিলে। আমাৰ দুয়োটাৰে তেনেদৰেই অলিম্পিকৰ প্ৰায় 3-4 মাহৰ আগতেই প্ৰায় লাহে লাহে সেই ৰিলেশ্যনশ্বিপটো শেষ হৈ গৈছিলে। আৰু এতিয়া প্ৰায় 1.5 বছৰে হ'ল তাৰ মোৰ মাজত একো ৰিলেশ্যন নাই। আৰু কিন্তু সেই যে চাৰ্টিফিকেটখন আছিলে, সিও নিজৰ লাইফত আগবাঢ়ি গুচি গ'ল আৰু ময়ো নিজৰ লাইফত আগবাঢ়ি গুচি আহিলোঁ। কিন্তু সেই যে চাৰ্টিফিকেটখন আছিলে, সেই চাৰ্টিফিকেটখন আমি দুটাই ভাবিছিলোঁ যে আমি যিহেতু তাৰ ফেমিলিটো গম পাব নালাগে আৰু মোৰ ফেমিলিটো গম পাব নালাগে, তাৰ বাবে আমি দুটাই মিউচুৱেলি এইখন চাৰ্টিফিকেটখন আমি ঠিক কৰিব বিচাৰিছিলোঁ। কিন্তু মিডিয়া সংগঠনৰ কিছুমান মানুহৰ কাৰণে বা কোৰ্টৰ কিছুমান মানুহৰ কাৰণে এই বস্তুটো বহুতেই বেছি বেয়াকৈ পাব্লিছ কৰি দিলে, যাৰ ফলত মোৰ ফেমিলি আৰু তাৰ ফেমিলিৰ মাজত বহুত বেছি প্ৰব্লেম হৈছে। যিহেতু মোৰ জীৱনটো বা তাৰ জীৱনটো আমাৰ নহয়, আমাৰ ফেমিলিৰ লগত জড়িত হৈ আছে। আৰু মই সকলোকে যাতে অনুৰোধ কৰিছোঁ এই কথাখিনি যাতে আৰু বেছি আগবঢ়াই নিব নালাগে। যে যিহেতু মোৰ কমনৱেলথ গেমছো আহি আছে, মই যাতে ভালদৰে ফ'কাছ কৰিব পাৰোঁ নিজৰ গেমত, এই কথাখিনি যাতে আৰু বেছি আগ নবঢ়ায়, যিহেতু মই নিজে মানিছোঁ মোৰ ভুল আছিলে, কিন্তু মই কোনো ক্ৰাইম কৰা নাই। যিহেতু আমি দুটাই যদি মিল নাছিলোঁ, দুইটাই যদি মানিয়ে এইটো ডিচিশ্যন লৈছিলোঁ, আমি কেতিয়াও হাজবেণ্ড ৱাইফৰ নিচিনাকৈ থকা নাই, তেনেহ'লে মই নাভাবোঁ এইটো বস্তু ভুল হৈছে বুলি। তাৰ বাবে যাতে মোৰ ফেমিলিক বা তাৰ ফেমিলিক কোনো ডিষ্টাৰ্ব নকৰে, এই যে টপিকটো যাতে ইয়াতে শেষ কৰে। আৰু মিডিয়া সংগঠনকো মই এইটোৱে অনুৰোধ কৰিছোঁ, যাতে যদি কিবা প্ৰব্লেম আছিলে তেনেহ'লে মোৰ ওচৰত আহিব লাগিছিলে বা তাৰ ওচৰত যাব লাগিছিলে, কথাটো ক্লিয়াৰ কৰিব লাগিছিলে। তাৰপাছত যদি আপোনালোকক লাগিছিলে যদি মিডিয়াত দিয়াটো শুদ্ধ হয় বুলি, তেনেহ'লে দিব লাগিছিলে। এইটো হৈ গ'ল যিহেতু, আৰু তাৰ বিষয়ে একো ভাবি বা কৈ লাভ নাই। কিন্তু আগলৈ যাতে এইটোৱে অনুৰোধ থাকিব, যাতে কাৰোবাৰ পাৰ্চনেল লাইফক লৈ তাৰ বা কেৰিয়াৰটো বা তাৰ ফেমিলিৰ মান সন্মানৰ লগত যাতে এনেকৈ নেখেলে।
On to the big story from Mizoram now. Over 10,000 pigs have been killed or culled of the African swine fever or ASF outbreak in Mizoram. As per the state's Animal Husbandry and Veterinary Department, at least 10,124 pigs have been killed or culled in Mizoram since the recurrence of the dreaded African swine fever disease from early March this year. So far, the infection has spread to 74 villages in 9 districts of the state. With the death of 93 pigs and piglets on Saturday, the total casualty due to ASF has climbed to 5,488, while 4,636 pigs have been culled to prevent further spread of the disease. The Mamit district of Mizoram, bordering Bangladesh and Tripura border, witnessed the largest number of ASF casualties on Saturday at 35, followed by Assam borders district Kolasib and Aizawl districts at 31 and 14 respectively. Now, if you look at the overall picture, the maximum number of pigs died in Champhai district at 2,604 since the recurrence of the outbreak, followed by Aizawl district at 1,276 and Mamit district with 486. It may be mentioned here that financial loss of the state due to the outbreak last year was estimated at rupees 60.82 crore, and this figure is speculated to increase in the current year. It may be mentioned here that the recurrence of ASF from early part of March was attributed to import of pigs and piglets from ASF infected states and neighboring countries by unscrupulous people despite the ban, even after the relaxation. And with that, we've come to the end of our news bulletin. Stay tuned to Northeast Live for more news and updates. Thank you for watching. Northeast Live.